Extermination Radio with your hosts, John, Vail, and Tanner West.
Okay, well, whatever. If they can't, I'm sorry. Welcome to Extermination Radio. I'm John, 40-ounce Vail, and I'm here with MrGlide.
Hello.
And I'm here with our favorite internet superstar, John SuitePee.
Hello, everybody.
So, for those of you who just got here or weren't watching earlier, John SuitePee was just doing his Iron Man run of Legacy of Heroes, and he did really well, man. He got up to map 5.
Yeah, I certainly did.
You got further than I did, anyway. I'm showing people my stream right now, or my demo recording, and we got to the same level, and I went to the blue key first, and that's what killed me. But you went for the other keys, and so you managed to kill a lot more monsters than I did.
Yeah, the blue key is a horrible area, just nasty. We'll run down to the plasma thing. It was nasty. That's what I blame for my loss. Not the Hell Knight that actually killed me.
Yeah. You've gotten really good since I started watching, because you've been doing this stream for a pretty long time, and I remember watching you when you kind of like first started, and your skills have like really gotten a lot better since the last time I've seen you. You play really cautiously, and it's really working in your favor.
Yeah, I tend to play. A lot of people have said I play very cautiously or defensively sometimes. I sometimes like to play quite fast if I'm forced, but that's my style, man. You know.
Yeah, you do really well. It works in your favor though, because I know a lot of other players that play really cautiously. Like I've seen some demos recordings of like Demon of the Well. Like he plays really cautiously, and he gets through everything. And yeah, it was exciting to watch your run though, because like you're so like it's fun to watch you be cautious because you're very suspenseful. It's very fun to watch.
Yeah, you also ruined my trick. I was just gonna steal Bloodite Crypto's demo and just claim that was mine.
That would have been funny.
Oh, you beat it in 2 hours. That was funny.
That would be hilarious. Because he just he just plows through monsters.
Yeah, he's insane. But yeah, my skills have gone better, I suppose. I mean, I remember when I didn't know how to do the BFG 2-shot trick, and then I watched Time of Death's videos and slowly picked it up to the point where I can just do it now most of the time.
Oh, really? I can't even do that.
I don't know. Either.
I'm sorry, what, Mr.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's kind of not hard to. It's kind of, once you know exactly what the movement is, it's not too hard to do, but it's very hard to pull off in a hard situation. But what you need to do is not too difficult.
Yeah, I have tried it enough time. The thing is, I haven't killed enough cyber demons to actually get enough practice at it. Like I don't know. I don't play. I do like Slaughterfest mods, but I usually like plowing through like hordes of imps rather than I like killing cyber demons. Yeah, just the cyber demons and their one hit kills like always. I guess they scare me.
You will never be a slaughter mapper then.
Well, no, I do like to design slaughter maps. Like there was one I designed that was called Therapy. I think MrGlide, you've played it before, right?
Yeah, that was great. It really was.
Yeah, it was just this whole like rocket launcher massacre where you start and there's just revenants on all these pillars and there's mancubi sniping you from the corners, and that was I think that's like one of the actual, like probably the only known slaughter map I've ever made, and it wasn't even very serious. I just kind of speed mapped it because RDWPA kind of made this thread for making fun maps, so I just kind of shit something out. But yeah, it was pretty fun, and I do like slaughter maps. I don't know. I haven't. But two-shotting BFG on cyber demons is just something I'm not. I can definitely do spider masterminds. They're a piece of cake. But cyber demons always shake me up.
Right. Okay. I mean, they usually can just kill you in one hit, so you always got to be careful with them.
Yeah. John SuitePee, when did you start doing your stream? Because you've covered so many megawads now, haven't you?
I've covered quite a few, yeah.
When did you?
When did I?
Yeah, when did you start?
Well, technically, I started live streaming in 2009 when I was with another community known as Dope Lives, or you might better known as the Other Goat Guy XD, sort of. But I started streaming Doom Wads or really playing them. In 2012, I streamed my first ever Doom Wad on this community channel, Dope Lives, which was Icarus Alien Vanguard.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first time I had played a Doom Wad outside of Maximum Doom since forever, in single player.
Wow.
But it got kind of a not too great reception. So I thought, on the side, I'll just start streaming on Twitch the Doom stuff and see what happens. So I started in 2013, and then 5 years later, I still pretend to be halfway confident Doom somehow.
Yeah, you're like one of the most popular Doom Switch like streamers out there. Like, there's a lot of like people. Everybody's streaming now. Everybody's streaming their own mapping and their own gameplay and stuff. But it seems like everybody flocks to yours and I think it's because you're consistent. Because almost every time I go to your channel, it seems like almost everybody's there. Like you got at least like 30 plus viewers almost every time I go.
Yeah, I'll give you your suitcase of money after the stream's over. Yeah, quite a few people have said that my streams bring all the mappers to the yard, and they're like, why are you complaining about my fucking map, you asshole? Well, no, we're not doing that. But I don't quite know how I've managed to get quite a few mappers to watch my streams, but I guess they kind of just do, I guess. I don't have an explanation for it, to be honest with you.
Well, what I notice, and I'm speaking because I'm a mapper, you do a lot of community projects. So a lot of people involved in the community are getting to see, are probably flocking to see you play them because they want to see somebody play their maps. And you do a lot of community projects, so I think that probably draws in a lot of attention.
Yeah, I do remember that I used to love doing these playtesting streams that I do once a month, and it's kind of a shame due to time constraints I've not been able to do those. I'd really like to get back to those someday, but I really enjoy kind of helping out the Doom community. That's what I kind of want to do, really, as much as possible. You know, help the newer mappers. That's something I enjoy doing.
That's good, man.
With my streams.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's good.
Have you what megawads have you played lately? Like
oh great, wait, now I have to go through my archive. Hold on, let me just pull up my list.
What were some of your favorite ones?
I actually have to go to my list because I can't remember what I've played recently. I've been playing Doom 2016. My favorite megawads of all time is Going Down by Moldy. That was one of the first ones that I gave a perfect score back when I bothered with those.
Yeah, Going Down was great.
Yeah, I need to revisit it at some point to see if I still think it's the best thing ever. But
yeah,
it definitely is my all-time favorite because I came out of there, I couldn't think of a single criticism of it. Winter's Fury, I really liked. Adventures of Square was really good. The first episode. I also enjoyed Nova 1 and 2. And to some extent, I kind of like the gameplay approach of Hellbound as well.
Yeah, I liked Hellbound a lot too. You said you said you've been playing Doom 2016 lately?
Yeah, I finally got a graphics card that could run the damn thing.
Awesome.
That's good to hear, man. I started playing Doom 2016 on the PS4, and because I got the PS4 because I wanted to, I didn't want to have to go through like any of the trouble of like not having like you said having a graphics card that would work. So I didn't want to have something that I didn't want to try to run it and like have to half-ass it and like run it on low settings just to make sure that I could play it. So I got it on PS4 so that I could just put it in the game and just play it just as it's supposed to be. And I had a pretty good experience with it. What did you think of it?
From coming from E3, where I ripped the game off completely, to seeing 2 minutes of footage where the gameplay looked good, to actually just playing it, holy crap, that has to be one of the best single player experiences I've had in quite some time. Not because of the story, but because every arena fight, the entire game was basically a succession of tight arena fights where you move around like a lunatic, killing enemies while they move around and try and pick you off.
Yeah.
And every time it was great. I just loved moving around and shooting things and dodging things. You feel divinely awesome when you play. And the best part was no fucking hit scans at all, except for those shield guys. But even they weren't too annoying. Everything in that game was projectile based, and therefore, if you get hit, it's your own fault. So it was really good, that feeling of movement and killing things and satisfying. It just felt like a Doom game. And I wish more modern first-person shooters would take that approach. Screw the story stuff. Just have really good fights where the player moves a lot, and maybe do have a lot less hit scans. I just couldn't get enough of the combat. It was fantastic. It was really, really good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because MrGlide and I were talking about this the other day, and we're kind of getting like bored of games that are just kind of like really casualized. I think that was the word he used.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like they make games that are just kind of like they want to appeal to the most amount of people. And by doing that, they're basically just making games that might as well just be movies, because they're full of cutscenes, and they're holding your hand, and they're showing you where to go and telling you all this kind of stuff. And like you know what you're supposed to do when you're playing a first-person shooter. You understand that you're a guy who's holding a gun. You have to shoot things. So like you don't have to tell me what to shoot. You don't have to tell me where to go. I'll figure it out. It's dumb.
Yeah, it really is. And it's getting a little overboard to an extent. We're seeing with a lot of games. I've seen certain games. I can't. Just like some stuff like I used to run for like the 360 and the Xbox One. It's just like there's so many games that are coming out now where you could essentially boil it down to you're just traveling in a straight line, pressing just like one or two different buttons, and it's way too simplistic. At that point, it's not really a game. I mean, you're not really playing or figuring anything out. I just don't see any entertainment value in that.
And that was MrGlide's review of Final Fantasy 13 for IGN.
It actually was. That is what I thought of Final Fantasy 13. But go on. Sorry.
What other games do you play? Like what games would you recommend? Because when I was talking to you the other day, you mentioned some games that you've been keeping an eye on. What games would you?
Oh, the new Strafe. Strafe's coming out. It's an indie game. It's got like lower poly graphics. It's supposed to be a bit of like a roguelike, kind of like a Quake.
Yeah. I was looking at screen. I saw some videos of it, and it looked like, the trailer of it is hilarious because it's like designed to look like an old '90s like violent video game commercial. Because like they got the kid playing the computer, and the blood is like splatting out of the computer onto his face. It was pretty hilarious to watch.
I thought it was a good commercial. Yeah, it was. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, the game looks really gory and like fun and like pixelated in a way, and like really like fun like Minecrafty kind of like 3D low polygraph, low poly models.
Yeah, low poly. Yeah.
Is that the game that Bobby Prince is doing music for?
Oh, I think you're thinking.
Or was that something else?
I think you're thinking of Rack. That was the game by Brad Carney, which it's similar in nature. Because it's got that like comic book kind of theme to it. Well, not I wouldn't. That's probably not how he would describe it, but that I get that impression from the text that's in it. But it's very colorful and fun, and it is kind of like Quakey, like in the way that you're supposed to run and jump and dodge projectiles and stuff. It was fun. I got to play a little bit of it. I had a blast playing it. And we interviewed Brad Carney once before, the guy who worked on it, who designed it.
Yeah, Carnival.
Yeah, Carnival.
Yeah.
Oh,
he also did work on Skull Tag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and which is now Xandronum, which is good. So, I've been playing. I did my Iron Man run not too long ago, and I got to play Legacy of Heroes, and that was a really fun WOD. And yeah, I had a good time with it. I thought I never seen Gap's mapping before. Because I've worked on like community projects and stuff, and he's always volunteered to do play testing. So he's always tested maps before, but I had no idea he was such a good mapper. So it was really refreshing to see him play his map, or like to see work that he's done, and he's really good. I thought it was really cool, and I think he did really good justice for the Eternal textures in Legacy of Heroes. It's very nicely detailed, and it's very like artsy. Like I really like that part that you got to just before, right before your death. There was that part where there's like a tree almost, and he used that like face switch texture, and it was like an ent, like one of those like tree things. And you press on the face to open up the gate to teleport where all those Hell Knights and Hell Barons were. And there was that other part where you were like at this like altar, and it looked like there was like a tome of power, like from Heretic, like on the table, like made out of sectors. It looked really cool.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking up something because I'm convinced I've seen a map by Gaspé before tonight's playthrough, and I'm just trying to think it's what I think it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I played something in Doomworld Mega Project 2015 that may have been done by him, but I need to just check what. I'm sure he made something for that as well. Sorry, this is really exciting for the stream. John SuitePee checks the text file on the stream.
Yeah.
This is what we need. Yeah, let's just check random files on stream. This is what we want. Yeah.
Well, MrGlide, what have you been? Have you played any like recent mods? Like I don't know if you've been playing much Doom lately. Have you?
Nope, I haven't touched much Doom lately. I'm starting to kind of slowly get back into it.
Well, what have you been playing?
Overwatch. Yeah.
Overwatch.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
Right, this stream. Right, I'm going. Goodbye, everybody.
What, you don't like Overwatch?
Nah, I didn't like it at all.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't enjoy Overwatch. I felt it was like, as you said, very sort of casualized kind of thing in a way. It just felt really meh to me. Not my thing.
I can understand that, and like at first I kind of had that meh feeling too, because a lot of us come from this like arena shooter background where we have so many things at our disposal. And in Overwatch, a lot of the heroes you play as, they kind of limit you. So like not every character you can do these certain like physics glitches and stuff. And as I've gotten into it for more and just like really gotten into the technicality of it, I've come to appreciate those things. It's a lot more like a first-person fighting game than it is more like Quake.
Yeah, it's easy these days to kind of be like a video game snob just because there's so much stuff out there. I especially used to be like a crazy snob, like maybe like 5-10 years ago. I was so cynical about everything because around that time they were creating a lot of like Call of Duty remakes, and like Call of Duty was coming out all the time, and like I remember seeing there was like a comparison picture where someone posted a picture of Call of Duty, the new Medal of Honor game, and the new Battlefield, and the screenshots were like, and it was and Killzone 2, and the games were all like completely identical. They were just like gray modern military shooters, and I was like, oh my god, this is disgusting. When is this gonna end? Like, when is this trend gonna be over? Because I'm so tired of it. I want to see more Doom, or I want to see more Quake. I want to see something, sci-fi type stuff. And just like more, I don't know. Like I remember watching. I got in this like huge forum argument one time. Like I was watching videos that somebody was talking about the new Crisis, and everybody was so fascinated by it, and I saw nothing interesting about it at all. It was just like it looked like such a boring, slow-paced game because your character walks like a half a mile per hour, and your health recharges after you get shot a couple times. And I was just so I was so. It looks so unappealing to me.
Isn't Crysis just a game that graphics nerds use to say, this is what the PC can do?
Yeah.
No, I own all the Crysises. And, like, it's interesting. Like, the first one I found, like, to be the most interesting, honestly, because it would just plop you on this island. You had your suit's abilities. You could go invincible or super strength or whatever. And you'd infiltrate these like towns and stuff where the soldiers were, and you'd take them out. So it was kind of like a hybrid between like a FPS, like stealth, like an action game. And it had some cool sci-fi elements to it. And there's a really cool zero G scene in there where you get to just like float around. It's not like normal Quake or nothing where you know when you're looking down it stops, but you could just keep looking down and just go into 3 circles. It was crazy. But there's some things I find redeeming about Crysis, but I definitely don't think it's like the best FPS ever. It has some interesting elements to it.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of talking out of my ass because I haven't actually played it. I just watched videos of it.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, I just watched videos of it, and it probably has a lot to do with the people playing the games, because sometimes people play them and they're just kind of like soaking in the atmosphere, and it's not working for me. It's just not. I'm not that fascinated with visuals, and that's what kind of draws me to Doom so much, because I just like when things are very clear cut and you can see, like I'm so adjusted to Doom. I'm so comfortable with it. I know what the enemies are. I know what the guns are gonna do. So like I don't like have to like. I can just kind of get the exact kind of game experience that I want. So I don't really have any reason. For me, I don't have any reason to play any other games. That's just the way I see it.
All right.
But you guys have probably played a lot of games, right?
I've played too many.
Yeah, I played a few. I found that as a live streamer, you get what I call the live streaming curse, which is where once you stream for a while, you can't not play a game without thinking, there's someone who wants to watch me play this.
Yeah.
Have you found that yourself, MrGlide, 40 ounce? Have you found that?
No, honestly, the input lag I get from my computer when I stream it's so frustrating for me. I don't even like to stream. It just like I feel all awkward and like I just like, oh man, what are they thinking? And I get all paranoid and shit. I just can't do it. It screws me up completely.
Well, I definitely get that when now that I'm doing like these podcasts, because sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just walk my dog and I'll think about like this fun like Doom topic and I'm like, oh, I bet people would really be interested in talking about this. And then like whenever we do these like actual podcasts, I like draw a blank and I can't think of anything.
Right.
Maybe I could ask you what Doom was he likes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you been playing lately?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think overall of like Doom 16's campaign?
I loved it.
What
were some like key points that really stuck out to you?
Oh, key points.
Yeah.
One thing I really liked about Doom 2016 was how they did the whole compared to Doom 3. You know, you go to hell, and it was a pretty big point in the game, right? Most of the game has been like base, tech base, tech base, tech base, slightly infested tech base, tech base, tech base, and then you go to hell, right? And then you go back to the UAC just to grab the BFG and see a couple of weird stuff, and then you go back to hell for the final boss, right?
Yeah.
I hated that. I fucking hate it. In my opinion, the game should have gone to hell and stayed in hell for the rest of the game because of how bad the last third was, because it just felt like they were just padding it out until they could get to the final boss. Now, conversely, Doom 2016's went back to hell 3 times, and they had some interesting maps in between. You know, you went from tech base to hell, then you went back to a destroyed base, which you'd previously been on, so you knew the level way up, but it was completely wrecked with much more tougher enemies on it. Yeah. Then you go back to hell, then you go to an ice level in another part of the game, not the same tech-based shit you've been doing for the last 10 hours, and then you go back to hell again to wrap it all up. And each time it was interesting transition. It wasn't just, you know, I literally didn't mind the fact I was out of hell. It was more interestingly done compared to Doom 3.
I agree. I think the pacing and flow in Doom 16 is some of the best I've seen yet in a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It really was. It really felt like this is what classic Doom would be like if it was made today.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that impression too. And I'm like, one of the reasons that it was really good is that the guns were really fun to use, and the monsters were always fun to kill. So like it
yeah.
really didn't matter. It didn't really matter what the setting was because the monsters were always so exciting. The imps were always like really acrobatic, jumping around, climbing on stuff. The revenants were flying around on the jetpacks. There was always chaos going on, so it was always exciting.
Yeah, I love the imps. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how the pinkies were like turned into these like bull enemies. They weren't just like plodding along. They charged, and their weakness was at the back, encouraging the player to jump over them and kill them from behind.
Yeah, they just run around and bulldoze everything. It's awesome.
And I like how the specters are actually nearly invisible.
Yeah, that was a cool effect too. I really liked fighting the Hell Knights the most because they were so like especially when you fight one for the first time. They just kind of show up and they're just like running around and they're plowing things out of the way and they're jumping around and uppercutting you. And, yeah, exactly. It was so chaotic the first time I played it, and the first time I played it, I got my ass kicked like 4 or 5 times. But that was my experience playing it with the PS4 because I was talking to somebody like around the time it came out. I got it right away, and I died a lot. And I was talking to somebody who had been playing it on the PC, and he got up to like 5 or 6 levels before he died for the first time. And I was like, "Wow, what is going on?" But I think I was at like a disadvantage because I was playing on the PS4 and I was playing with a controller that I never used before. So like it was kind of hard to like get my aim right. Most of the time, I was just kind of working on dodging monsters rather than focusing on my aim because I wasn't really adjusted to the controller, I guess. And it happened a lot that, especially with the controller, I was pressing buttons that I didn't know what they did yet, so it was like sometimes I was like throwing grenades by accident and blowing myself up and and just kind of like messing around.
Yeah, and I also liked how the game started as well. The game wasted no time in just immediately flinging you into these fights right from the get-go. As soon as it could, it chucked you in one of those arena fights and said, right, you're going to learn how to move around and shit, and you're going to kill all these enemies.
Yeah, no bullshit. I like that.
I had this funny glitch happen once. I think it was in the last level, where this Hell Knight, he went to Hulk slam me, but he was like, I boosted away, and he came across at me darn close, like half the arena, he just flowed through. I really wish I caught it on video because it was hilarious.
Hey, speaking of glitches, did you watch the Summer Games Done Quick? Or I don't know if it was Summer Games, but they did Doom 2016. They did a speed run of that. And did you guys happen to watch any of that?
I haven't had time. No. I've been meaning to watch it. Blood Thunder, right?
It might be. I don't know. I don't remember the name of the guy, but I watched a little bit of it. And
if I remember correctly, in the speedrunning database, he had like the number 1 time for a while, and he's still in like the top 10 or something. I'd have to go check, but yeah, I've heard he's killer good.
Yeah, well, the I watched a little bit of it, but the stream was all like, it was all exploiting glitches, and he was like floating through walls and like exploiting these physics glitches where like he could like stand on a handrail and like I think like use the Gauss cannon or throw a grenade or something. And somehow it would launch him like 1,000 feet into the air, and you'd be able to jump all the way to the exit.
Oh, and, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'll have to watch that sometime.
Yeah, there's another thing you can do with rails, especially if you go to climb them, then double jump at the same time, and if you clip them at the right angle, it'll launch you quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff like that. For me, I thought that was kind of, I don't know. I'm such a snob though. I like to watch like Doom speedruns, but Doom is such a very kind of fortified game. There's not a whole lot of glitches that you can exploit. So you kind of have to play by the rules when you speedrun. And in this speedrun that you watch for Doom in 2016, he's like walking on these pipes and stuff and on the ceiling that you're not supposed to walk on, and all kinds of like really
he's like getting outside the map and stuff.
Yeah, exploiting things and like kind of like showing how feeble the engine is. And I don't know. I'm not really interested in it. Like I've never really been fascinated with things like void glides and those like in regular Doom where you can kind of there's like if there's 2 bars and there's like a 32 unit space in between, you can kind of like there's a way you can kind of glide through it. Like you can kind of like I don't really know how it works because I've never done it myself, but if you like face it and like look directly in between the 2 bars, you can kind of like squeeze your way through it, and that's how you can like bypass like a certain part of the level. And I don't know. For me, those aren't that exciting to watch. I'd rather watch somebody like actually have the skill to avoid the monsters and get around and like snag keys without having to kill any of the monsters in the room and all kinds of cool stuff like that.
Yeah, I pointing on that, I think it'd be interesting to see like 100% kill runs be more prominent.
Yeah, yeah,
That would be good. Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I like to see. I like to see people showcase how good they are at playing the game, and not so much playing the people who made it. You know, like the actual developers who created the engine.
That's an interesting way to put it, really.
Yeah. It's just
I don't think there's anything wrong with the runs that do all the glitches, but I agree. I'd like to see some runs where you gotta get all the secrets or all the monsters killed or whatever. That's more fun as well.
Yeah, I get the most entertainment, especially watching your stream, John SuitePee, because you actually play the game. You know, you play it just how people would want to see somebody playing it for the first time. You're not really like having any intention of breaking the game, and that's like that's just like that's just like I don't know. For me, that's annoying to watch.
As opposed to all those other Doom streamers who just put no clip on and go, "Look, I can skip this fight."
Yeah.
I hope nobody tells them that I like to no clip up elevators when I'm bored waiting for them sometimes.
Well, that's a question that some mappers have. It's because when they have like people play testing, they're like, "Hey, you can get stuck here. Did you know that?" And like it's in like such like a crazy obscure place, like these crates that are like on this cliff that you're not supposed to get to, and they somehow find a way to get in there and then climb on top of the crates and then get stuck in this corner. And we're like, "Wait, is that actually an error, or were you trying to get stuck?" And
your map's broken.
yeah, exactly. And they pointed out like your map's broken, and then you have to release these updates. I have a feeling that's what Lutz is going through right now, because he just released Hellscape recently, and which is like this short episode where he's remaking all of the Doom 2 Hell levels because he thinks they weren't hellish enough. So he has like these really artistic approach to redesigning these levels. And some of the people that are reviewing his maps, he asked, I volunteered to playtest for him, but I never actually got around to writing these because I wrote like a long report for his first map, but I never actually got around to playing through. Well, I did play through the rest of them, but I didn't write a report for him. But anyway, some people are playtesting some of his levels, and they're finding these like places that you can get stuck, and it's like I can see in the tone of this post, and he's like, "Wait, are you guys trying to get stuck, or are you just playing? Like, are you guys just playing my maps, and this is what's happening to you?" And it seems like it's the former.
Hellscape? Did you say it was?
Yeah, Hellscape. But it's a super deep. It's probably like one of the most detailed maps we'll see for a very long time. He put a lot of attention into the lighting and into the sector detail and stuff. So everything's very artistic and very architecturally sound. It's very impressive.
I looked at the screenshots down the thread. It looks pretty alright.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I had a great time playing it.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I just downloaded it before we started this.
Yeah, it's definitely worth your time. It's awesome.
Well, maybe someone requests it. It might get looked at.
Yeah. Do you have you have I saw that you have like a request thread for your stream, right, SuitePee? Do you have like a really long list of stuff to play?
Yeah, that's right. I made my request video and thread at the end of last month, pretty much.
Yeah. Do you still have like a pretty long backlog of things to play?
Doom mod-wise, the backlog will be that request. I'm going to compile it at the end of the first day of March, which will be Wednesday, and I'm going to be like, okay, well, this person requested, and I'll check the ones that I think I want to play at the massive list. What's really surprised me, actually, is when I made this thing, I half expected a lot of people to pick the same ones. Like, I'd have people going like, "Oh, his request, quick, make him play Stardate 20xx or Tower Doom."
Yeah, they want you to play the hard stuff, right? Because they want you to see you die.
Yeah, that's about 90% of my audience is like people just want to see me die, and the other 10% people who are lost looking for another streamer probably. Yeah, is this BZ Plasma? No, I'm not playing Blue Doom. But what really surprised me about the was it everyone requested something fucking different. I think I've only had one person have the same thing. Other than that, it's like, play this, play this 90s castle map, play this work in progress. I was amazed. I'm going to have to actually go through all of these and consider all of them. I'm just amazed that the Doom community have such a wide variety of things they want to see people play, really.
Yeah.
They're the same stuff.
It is fascinating. There's so much demand for all these WADs to be played. There's no, what's so cool about the Doom community is that there's no shortage of stuff to play. It's like, well, I'll never be finished.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll never be finished. I mean, there's a new Megawad that comes out every day, it seems like almost every week. Like Moonsong just came out, and I'm still like 5 community projects behind. Like I've only played like a few maps of each one, and I still have to carry through all. And the worst part is that a lot of them are really hard, so they take a lot of time to beat. And not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I love having my skills tested, but there's just so much to play.
Yeah, I mean, Doom World could die tomorrow, by somebody with Doom World could shut down tomorrow, id Games could close, and that could be the end of future stuff. And we probably have at least about 30 or 40 years of WOD to get through, at least, at this point in time.
That's absolutely
right. Where would we get them from if id Games were to be shut down?
Well, that would be that would be a problem. But I'm sure somebody.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Well, I'm sure somebody's backed it up though. I mean, I've downloaded the entire database at one point, so I actually have like a USB drive, and it's 16 gigs, and I can carry the entire id Games archive on there. But that's only the level section. I don't have the port section because I know there's like a lot of
pocket.
Yeah.
That's all it was. I thought it'd be at least like 2 terabytes or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the port section. So like the port section has like all the Boom Megawads and all of the Z Doom projects and stuff. And there are like especially in like the Skull Tag community and stuff. Like there's a lot of really inflated WADs that just have like tons of textures and tons of new monsters. So they're like some of these WADs are like a gigabyte each. So I don't have those, but I have everything that's in like the regular vanilla level section. And that only measures up to like 9 gigs. So I have that on a 16 gigabyte like USB drive, and I have space to spare. It's pretty crazy. And it's crazy to think about that you have all those levels on that like tiny little thing. It's funny to just like imagine like the gargantuan space of all the levels that all the levels there is to play, and like how much there is to explore, and I could fit it all in that tiny little stick.
Right in your pocket.
Right in my pocket.
Like,
I can carry it around.
How many cyber demons do you think I got in my pocket?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, what if you downloaded the entire Quake archive? How much difference would the size jump be just from that?
I don't know. I actually don't play much Quake, but I've heard the community's not that big. But it looks like it's making a comeback because I've seen screenshots recently, right? Like they have like these really cool like giant towers and castles and like Arabian themed stuff, and it looks really awesome. Have you guys seen any of the screenshots?
I've seen the screenshots. I haven't played them yet. I need to get my Dark Places backup work and everything all neat and tidy again. I just like playing it more like that.
Have you run Quake mods before, MrGlide? Have you run Quake mods before? I've never actually done it before. Do they use I know like Doom has like a WAD format. Does Quake have something like that too? No.
It has a mods folder that you can run.
Oh, okay.
I haven't messed with it too much.
Yeah, me neither. I've only played one Quake one, that was Map Jam 6, and that was because Breezy told me to play it. Arcane Dimensions was one that was mentioned. That's quite popular.
Yeah, that looks. I've been looking at that for a while. I really need to play that.
Same here.
Yeah, I love mod communities, like because it's cool to play stuff that's like fan made, not like made by these companies for a profit. They're made by people who actually love the source material.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We do this for fun,
Yeah.
And the occasional £500 payments that I receive. If only we could get paid to play Doom 1. Wouldn't that be the dream?
Yeah, that would be the life.
I played Scythe-X. I got paid £200 for my subscribers. Please go back, there we go.
Yeah, but I don't like to make. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think I'd feel comfortable taking money from people who did this as a hobby project. Yeah, but that's just me. Like, I don't even like to have. Like, we're streaming this on Twitch right now, and people have to watch an ad before they listen to us talk, and I feel like eerie about that because I'm so sick of ads now. Like, I listen to like podcasts and stuff on YouTube, and I'm so sick of listening to ads. They drive me crazy.
Yeah. If only there was a way to block those ads. Possibly some kind of ad blocker type device.
Yeah, but I mostly listen to my podcasts and stuff while I'm at work, so I don't know if I can install ad blocker programs on the computer that I use at work.
Yeah, they got it for phones and iPods and stuff.
I wish they had an ad blocker for mobiles. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'm so used to having ad block on the computer. When I watch YouTube on the mobile, it's like, this is a nice video. Oh, what the fuck is this advert doing in the middle of this video? Terrible.
What was do you guys remember the first Doom WADs that you played? Do you remember like when you first when your first time getting into Doom and you realized that you could start playing Doom? Do you remember how exciting?
I don't want to mention my first because it was Maximum Doom. The first time I got into Doom, there was this old collection called the Maximum Doom collection that came with Doom 1, 2, Master Levels, and Maximum Doom. And I spent a lot of time on Maximum Doom on the levels that worked anyway for quite a while.
Yeah. So you probably developed like pretty thick skin like after playing all this like junky WADs.
Well, I just like playing for like a minute and then get bored, and then I just go back to the Monty Python one with all the quotes and just play that again.
When I first got into like the Doom community, it was like probably in like 2003 maybe. I think I first saw Doom World, and I knew about it for a few years, and I used to check on it like almost every week to see the new stuff archives, to see what just to look at the screenshots of WADs that people were making. And at the time, I didn't even know how to run WADs. I had no idea that it was even. I was like confused by the whole thing. I had no idea how to do it, and I felt so stupid after I figured it out because it was so simple. But I remember like looking at screenshots of like Polygon Base when it first came out, and that was like this really detailed. It was a very long non-linear map. I think probably the Doom World veterans probably know more about it than I do. I haven't played it much. I think I played a little bit of it, but yeah, I saw like lots of screenshots of like Z Doom projects that were new. Like I remember Doom Resurrection when that was like first being announced, and there was like screenshots of that. I was like, whoa, this looks really awesome. And once I first figured out how to run WADs, I was so blown away because I was like, this is it. I can play Doom forever now. Because like up until then, I was playing like Doom 2 over and over and over again, and I was so fascinated with like levels like downtown and industrial zone. There were just like all these big wide open spaces, and now I just take it for granted because I've played so many things, and now I can be a snob and like decide that some maps suck and some are great, and not just kind of like embrace the fact that there's so much content out there. I mean, I'm opening up to it now, but it's I was a snob for a pretty long time, and just seeing like I could like kind of decide that some maps were shit and some were not, and I don't know. It was so fascinating to realize that there was like not even just the stuff that was released on new stuff, like the screenshots of those maps, but this entire id Games archive with thousands and thousands and thousands of levels. There's just like it's retarded how much there is. Like, because I'll never play through it all. It'll take me. I could probably play Doom for the rest of my life and still not finish everything.
Yeah, and every day something new comes out.
Yeah. It's. I don't know. That was mind blowing for me when I first saw it. When I first like realized that I could play Doom WADs.
It's really incredible, like how many WADs there really are for Doom. It's insane.
Yeah, like just the last couple years, I started recording demos of everything that I play, and some levels take me upwards of like 45 minutes to beat, just because they're so long, or they're just so difficult to beat. And I've been recording all these demos, and I have like this huge library of like thousands of demos that I have, like me playing through these entire megawatts. So I have like, if I were to watch all these demos from start to finish, it could take years. Like there's so much, and I still have more to play. It's not even over.
Yeah.
It'll never end. We will have families, and we will have kids, and we'll still be playing Doom mods, and we'll be old men retiring at the age of 65 plus, sitting on a porch somewhere, sipping a cold beer, and then suddenly, finally, fucking Vail and Tanner will be released as Mechadon finally finishes the damn thing.
Yeah.
It's finally out, boys! I finally detailed the last megastructure.
I'm terrified to play through that because that could take me days to beat. But
yeah, not because it's difficult, but because you spend about 3 hours in each level going, "Wow, this looks amazing."
Yeah, just looking around.
Pictures.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're so lucky that we have such dedicated mappers too.
Yeah, I know. It's a good thing, really, because it's amazing how many good mappers we have nowadays. We're just spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
And there's still some new faces coming through that are just improving. I mean, I remember like Rook, seeing his stuff in a few playtest sessions. He's making some good short maps. Gaspe, I can't believe Legacy of Heroes was really good, and he's a newer mapper, I believe, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
we're spoiled. So many new mappers. And some of the old mappers are still making maps, you know. We got Lee Zamansky coming back from the old timer. We still got Capella. We got Steve Duffer still around. It's amazing. There's the old timers, the new timers, and everyone else.
Yeah, and we also got like different nationalities too. Like we got the Russian Doom community, the French Doom community, the Japanese Doom community. It's crazy.
Yeah, that WAD was cool, that Japanese Doom community project.
Yeah, it was
really... yeah. I've been bugging them to make a sequel.
Yeah.
I don't care. Please make more maps.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was fun how like quirky and like colorful it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I want to see most maps from Toasty. He was like the Japanese Dobu, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just it's that same creative style and ridiculousness in every map he does. There was a release by one of them. Water Springs, was it? By Barabu Jr., I think it was. It came out recently.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, something called Water Springs by Barabu, I think. Came out quite recently on Doom World somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played it, but I just need to check that, actually. Let me just... Excitedly checking Doom World again!
Yeah. Well, I obsessively check Doom World. I check it like probably 2-3 times a day. It's actually kind of embarrassing now that I admit it. But
yeah, I do the same.
Yeah,
No.
I check it like 2-3 times a day on my phone, just like throughout the day, just to see what people are talking about and what WADs that are coming out. Because like if you release something on WADs and mods, like within a day it'll get bumped to page 2 because there's so much like activity going on with Doom mapping.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it must be really hard as a new mapper to get your WAD notice nowadays, on Doom World at least, because as soon as you post your thread, hey guys, please check out my map, within the same day, you can be on page 2 because there's so many other things happening at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's why. Go ahead.
It sucks to be a new mapper sometimes because like there's so much competition out there, so you really have to shine to like kind of get noticed.
Oh. Yeah, or really get lucky. I mean, it's nice that there's things like the Doom World Mega Project will just allow anything to allow people to sort of just put something out there and try it out.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There are like community projects and stuff where you can kind of like make yourself known by participating in a bigger thing.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the Joy of Mapping sessions that Jimmy's run so far. I might actually take part in the next one of those if I can. Oh, really? You're going to try mapping? Yeah, I have actually been working on a map for the Doom World Mega Project 2017 recently, and I'm about doing pretty well with it so far. Oh yeah, that's good. Cool. I mean, I sort of took it up last year when about a few people were like, please make a map for Nova 3, and eventually I agreed, but after a couple of months, I just couldn't stick with an idea. I learned a good chunk of the basics, and I put it off. But then I decided this year I would get back into it, but I'd do it on a less stressful project where the expectations were a bit lower. Because Nova 3 is going to be like, you got to make a really good map.
Yeah.
But on Doom World Mega Project 2017, you just got to make a map that works, basically. So there's a lot less pressure to make the best thing ever. Just something that's interesting and is tolerable.
Yeah.
And that's what I've gone.
Have you done much mapping before you started? Even not, maybe not any releasing stuff, but have you tried like just messing around with the editor and like?
No.
No. You're just kind
Not really.
So you're just kind of winging this.
Well, I'm taking a lot of it from the Nova 3 mapping streams I did last year and sort of just... I do a bit of off-stream stuff for this project, but not really a lot of messing around, no. It's just kind of learning as I go.
Oh, okay. So, do you enjoy mapping? Or do you feel like it's a lot of work, or is it like... is it like just kind of fun to mess around?
It's definitely something that I find that can be quite... It's fun when something comes together and it plays all right. You know, like when you put something together that looks pretty nice and you make a nice encounter that works pretty well, it's satisfying. Although I would still definitely prefer to just actually play rather than create. But I don't think there's any harm in me trying out the mapping process and putting at least one map out there. It helps me gain an appreciation of what mappers go through. Like, for example... Yes, Revenants really are a fucking good viable option for some fights. You may find them. I've had to use them myself in an encounter because nothing else seemed to work.
How about you, MrGlide? I know because we talked a lot about mapping before, but you don't really have many release projects. But I know you like to mess around with stuff with the map editor. Do you have any like favorite parts about mapping?
Oh man, there's so much I love about mapping. Like, yeah, I haven't released anything, so I never really like fully finished the levels to like my expectations. But and I work on probably too many at once. But man, I don't know. It's just like it's such a creative and interesting process where you're creating these puzzle scenarios on how to proceed through with like the combat mechanics, all while it's kind of like painting too, you know, like you're dealing with all the aesthetics and you're trying to make everything look good. And it's just, there's a lot of comfort and fun in that. That's something I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a style to making the id Tech 1 engine look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, and like comically, for looking at how old the id Tech engine is, it's not really that hard to make maps that look really great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagination is a powerful thing.
It is.
Yeah, I've been fascinated with how interesting you can make levels look just with lighting alone. Like it's just kind of like I've gotten used to like using I've been getting pretty fascinated with like light gradients and making shadows on things, and you can make like really basic maps look really fascinating just by getting the lighting right. And so what I'll do is like I'll create a room with like a lot of pillars and stuff, and I'll make shadows on the pillars. And if there's like areas where like maybe the texture theme will transition into a different one, like maybe I'll have like these steel walls on one side of the room, and then they'll turn into bricks. I'll kind of put these shadows along the where the transition is to kind of bring the contrast out, and it looks really nice. And I just kind of it's fun to just kind of like mess around and just see what you can create because there's so much you can do just with sectors alone. Like just kind of like putting little details and stuff. I mean, like people like to make sector furniture and stuff, and you can make all kinds of little details. And that in Legacy of Heroes there was like a lot of cool examples of that. And
oh yeah, there was.
Yeah, I like using bold architecture and like really cool like shadows and stuff like that. And it's interesting to like try and make something even kind of simple look cool, look cool.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, John SuitePee, it's so satisfying to create like a fun encounter. Like even if you just create a room and put a super shotgun in the middle and a bunch of imps, it's just like fun to just do to know that you created that. That's just something that you got to just a Doom experience that you got to create and live like as you can kind of create something that you want to play.
really started to understand that. You know, I mean, before I started mapping, I'd be like, I wouldn't have fun as what, and an argument that some mappers would say, like, well, mappers like to map for what they enjoy. And I'm like, no, mappers should consider the player when they are mapping. They should consider that not everyone's going to be that good at the game. You know, like when Time of Death did his map for 50 Shades, which was like on Ultra Violence. I hope you know the two-shot BFG trick of you ain't killing these cybers. Don't mind the ping. That was just my Iron Man video finishing its process. But then I started mapping and I started realizing, hang on, I'm creating encounters that I enjoy. And I'm like, oh, now I get it. They were right. So you really do when you map, you kind of create something that you would want to play. And then it's just up to everyone else as to whether they enjoy that or not. You know, I mean, I have an encounter on my map. My map has a tough starting bit, but I can actually play through, and I enjoy moving around enemies and seeing chaos happen. You know, I like carnage and lots of enemies. But I know that I can already tell that if at the rate it's at, some people are going to play that map and they're going to be like struggling what to do. They're not going to like the tough opening, and they're going to dislike the map. But I enjoy that kind of stuff. So I've basically learned to appreciate you really do map for what you want to play, and then it's just a case of if someone likes it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, well, seeing as you're someone who's played so many WoWs, I can understand why you feel that way, and I think that makes perfect sense, because I'm very considerate of what the player is going to experience when they play the map. Like, I don't think it's always fair to, like, design a level that only I know how to beat it, and expect other people to, like, try and figure out the same things that I do. Because if I wanted to do that, I could just make all the, like, I could use wall textures instead of, for the doors, and people have to figure out all the secrets just to get to the red key so that they can exit the level. And that's not fair. That's not fun. Yeah. And it may be fun for me because I know how to beat the level and I can just laugh at everybody who's trying to figure it out. But that's like a very very selfish way of mapping. So it's good to be considerate of how other people are going to enjoy it too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously you don't want to make things too cryptic, but it's more like, you know, you shouldn't be put off for making a hard encounter or the kind of encounter that you enjoy just because you think some people find it too hard or too easy or too boring. You make it for what you would enjoy playing, you know, and hopefully what you enjoy playing is not cryptic in any way. But yeah, of course you consider, I mean, I try to put a lot of health power-ups on my maps so the players always got a decent amount of health and armor before they engage with the tough encounters.
Yeah. I've heard the argument that people say that you should make maps like just for what you want to make and not necessarily what people are telling you to make. And I understand that argument, but I think the argument is more that like people who are making maps shouldn't be doing it as if it's a service for other people. Like they should still be enjoying what they're doing. But it's important to be considerate of what other people are playing if you want people to actually like it. And that's a good feeling when you make something that you know other people enjoy.
Well, of course, yeah. Absolutely. You would have to do that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I can't really comment much further on that because I still haven't released a map yet, so I haven't gone through the whole process of watching people play my map and comment on it. You know, I get to be in the other side of the coin now. You know, I get to read someone's chat going, oh my god, what you going to think of my map? The fucking Barrett sucks placement. This is fucking bullshit. What kind of 90s shit is this? I'm like, no! That's what I would say.
I know, it cuts you deep, man. It sucks when people say mean stuff. But
it's not happened yet, but one day it will.
Yeah, but it's the kind of tough love you have to go through when you make Doom levels, and it is kind of discouraging because I'm sure there's plenty of people who want to make levels but are kind of scared of what people are going to say about them, and it's kind of a shame because I'm sure there's a lot of really good stuff out there, a lot of good stuff that people are able to create, but they're just kind of, you know, they're doubting themselves because they're playing something and they're judging it based on their own inner critic, and that's kind of. That's a hard thing to fight.
That's a problem I had with my Nova 3 mapping. I'd start an idea and I'd judge it and think it was crap and start and do over.
Yeah.
So I can understand that as a problem. A mapping block, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, it's a shame. I've done the best I could to I've made like a tutorial on the Doom editing forum to like help people who might be experiencing mapping block. Or mapper's block, rather. And I did.
So what would?
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was your question?
So sorry to interrupt. So in that case, what would your advice be for mappers with mapping block? What would you say to them?
I've read a lot about writer's block, and what they say is a lot of the things that have to do with mapper's block is, and I'm only saying this because I've experienced mapper's block before. What I've observed is that a lot of it is just dealing with your own inner critic. So what you do is you kind of have to, as soon as you start designing a map, you kind of have to deal with your own inner thoughts telling you this sucks, this isn't going anywhere, this is trash, nobody's gonna play this, and that's kind of a feeling that you have to fight. And one of the things you can do is you can listen to music so that you don't have to listen to your own thoughts. So if you're listening to music, it's very easy to just kind of make a map and not really listen to whatever it is you have to say about yourself. Some other things you can try is, if you're forcing yourself to map, that can be kind of discouraging too, especially because if you're just trying to get something done and you don't really feel like doing it, and you just kind of want the end result, it helps to take a break and just kind of play more Doom once in a while and just kind of get some ideas. Because sometimes you can play a map and it makes total sense to like even just play a map that you like and steal ideas from it and just kind of remake it in a way that you want to make it. And most people won't notice the difference because they've played so many maps already. There's a couple other things too. I made a whole list of them. I can't remember because I wrote it like several months ago. But yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. Yeah, I did most of my research just kind of like reading about writer's block, and there's Mapper's block threads have come up on Doomworld a lot, so I did a lot of searching for that and took some of their suggestions too. But yeah, Mapper's block's a sucky thing though, because like because there's a lot of like really great mappers who doubt themselves and they don't release as many projects as they probably could. And
you know what's really weird is like I have zero issues with like Mapper's block. I don't know. Like, I get more anxious than anything. I end up over-detailing, I overwork things, and I focus way too much time into one thing.
Mm.
And then, like, it'll get to the point where it just exhausts me. I don't know.
Yeah, you should ask Dobu Gabumaru how he does that, because he loves his detailing to the extreme. You should ask him how he does it.
Yeah, well, I guess he probably doesn't have as much trouble fighting that inner critic. It's just some kind of like subconscious thing that you pick up, and some people have a stronger inner critic than other people do. So it's not always fair, but that's just how things work. It's just kind of like your brain chemistry, you know. It's just how things work.
Fair enough. So what do you do when your inner critic is called Pinchy Screen?
Does he criticize your mapping, or does
he
criticize?
No. He's been helpful in quite a few people have been helping me with some good mapping ideas along the way. He's been in a few. He did a few streams, commentary streams when I was in a Nova mapping. He's a good sort of tutor. He takes it very seriously, kind of thing.
Oh, that's good.
He knows what he's doing. So I was just joking, obviously.
It's good that
don't kill me, Pinchy.
It's good that the community is generally positive, though. Like it seems like people are kind of like helping each other out with mapping and things. Because there were times in the past where there were a lot of like rivalries and stuff. But at the same time, I also kind of miss those rivalries too, because I think some people would try to outdo each other, and I don't think I think a lot of people are just kind of mapping for themselves now, so they don't really try to measure up against competition. They just try to do whatever they feel is right, and that's a good thing too, because people are making more maps now than they ever have in the past. But I do kind of miss. It would be cool if like the Dune community kind of had like these mapping teams, and they would try to like outdo each other and make these megawads that were trying to be better than the other. And each year they'd come out with a new set of maps that were just trying to be better than the other team. That would be like a really interesting concept, just like a competition between mappers.
Is this your formal announcement of Team 40 out?
Yeah, maybe Team World Extermination Radio. Team World Extermination. Yeah. That would be cool, though. I'd like to see it happen. I don't know if it will, though. I have kind of pitched the idea of people forming teams, but I don't know. I'm not a very good representative for it because I'm not that active in the community. I'm available to post all the time, but I'm not sitting at my computer available to map as often as I'd like to be. So it just kind of sucks.
You're just on the fringe, man.
Okay, so we've been talking for about an hour, so maybe do you guys want to wrap this up?
Sure.
So,
No,
not
yet. No.
Do you want to keep talking? We
Never.
can. I'm totally cool with that as long as people want to listen.
So then we have 0 viewers.
Do
Go
we?
to
Oh, I
sleep.
hope not.
Going to sleep. Well,
I'm not very popular.
Popularity is as overrated. It's about the quality. It's quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Matters really, you know. So as soon as I get some quality, I'll let you know.
I found your stream enjoyable. I thought it was interesting. Your commentary was interesting.
Just wait till you see when I get mad.
Well, that's the best thing. We love seeing you get mad. And that's probably why people try to make you play hard WODs, because they want to see you get angry. They like to get you fired up.
It's always been a weird sort of double-edged sword, my sort of rage. There was actually a time when I first started, years ago. You know, it's story time with SuitePee, apparently.
No, it's okay.
I didn't used to rage at games at all that much. Well, I did, but I didn't rage on stream. And then one day, I played a game called Red Faction. The first one.
Ooh. I like Red Faction.
And I really wish I had saved the damn video, because I'd like to look at it and go, this is the moment my life changed. Have any of you played Red Faction?
Yeah, I have.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time, but I have played it.
Do you remember when they introduced the mercs?
Yes.
The fucking merc enemies, divided into 3 types. The type that do fuck all damage, the type that snipe you across the map, and the frigging auto assault rifle jerks that hit you from a mile across the room. Although you can do the same to them, because their weapons are like a massive upgrade.
Yeah, and they're like these huge damage sponges too. They almost never die, right? They take like
they kind of died quickly, but they could do some stupid damage to you.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else then.
But there was one point in the game where you have to go for this cutscene of setting up a satellite or something, and this little up some steps or something like that. And then as soon as you have finished the cutscene, you're ambushed by 2 of the merc guys, right? Now keep in mind, these merc guys with the assault rifles can do stupid damage very quickly, and you have to take them down or else they will kill you. And every time you did that cutscene, there immediately was 2, I think there's about 2 guys spawn behind you, and you have to deal with them really quickly. Then go down these steps and deal with about 6 or 8, 10 more of them in the hangar area that they're in. And I died so many times because of the cheap bullshit of this, and I actually shouted at the stream for the first time. I was normally very quiet, but I screamed as loud as I could. I was so pissed off at that one point in the game. And ever since that day, it's like it broke a barrier. It's like, it's okay to get angry at this game and be mad and shout and be loud and obnoxious. And ever since then, I've always been kind of this person that gets mad at things. A bit like, I don't know what it is, the autism or whatever, but I always tend to get mad at things if it's not always going my way in games sometimes. And some people like it, and some people do not. And it's caused problems in the past where it goes too far, and I've had a lot of criticism for it. But some people like it. It's always a double-edged sword. Some people would probably prefer me to be calmer about things, and I've had a few people mention that in the Doom community as well. And some people would prefer me to, they don't mind the anger because it's entertaining the style of rage. I mean, where would you two stand on that?
Well, I have a rage quit story too. One time I was playing Streets of Rage 3, and that game is intentionally designed to be super hard because they actually have a Japanese version of the game, which is actually easier than the American version. And I was playing the American version, and I got to like maybe stage 3 or something, and I got so fired up from getting beat up all the time. Have you guys ever played Streets of Rage? It's like one of those games where you're you play okay, you play one of the 3 characters and you have to beat up all these thugs. Anyway, I was getting my ass kicked, and I was really playing my best. I was really trying as hard as I could, and I just could not beat these levels. And immediately after that, I decided, like, all right, I'm going to take a break from this and play something else. So I started playing Capture the Flag Online on Doom. And I was playing in this public CTF server, and there was this clan. And they would all, whenever they played a game together, they would all be on the same team, no matter how many players were playing. So there would be like 6 of them, and there was like 3 other people playing. So I'd be on the team with like 2 people. And the teams were always unbalanced, and they would just dominate all the time. And it was so frustrating because not only that, because they were really cocky too. They were like, we destroyed you, you fail it, blah blah blah, and they're all saying like all kinds of stupid shit. And I was just getting
pointless.
Yeah, it was really cheesy because these guys were pretty ridiculous. But for some reason that got me really fired up because I was really sure that I was really confident after playing so much Streets of Rage that my senses were hyped up. Like I felt like my adrenaline was rushing. I was like, I can beat these guys, and I kept trying, and eventually I took the keyboard and I smashed it over my knee, and the keys just flew everywhere. And so I made this blog post where I said Skull Tag owes me $20 because I took a picture of my smashed keyboard. I never actually like smashed a game controller or anything before, but I was so frustrated. I was so sick of losing after like so many hours of just torturing myself with probably the most ridiculous, unfair gameplay that I could deal with.
John, have you played Battletoads?
No, I've never played Battletoads. And I don't think I want
Battletoads. No, it's a fun game.
It's hard.
It is a fun game.
It's so hard.
It's so much fun though. It's so good. I do genuinely enjoy Battletoads, but that game is hard as like ridiculous.
So are you one of those people that really likes to play the hardest games possible then?
I have like 1,000 hours into Dark Souls 1. I beat Dark Souls 2 like 5 times or whatever. I love those games. I really don't get all that angry at them.
Yeah.
Have you played La Moana?
Have I played what?
La Moana. I'm pronouncing it wrongly. La Moana. It's like this classic platforming game that came out years ago, and it was re-released, remastered. I'll type it into the Twitch chat to show you what the game is called.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, that's a really hard, but very fun platforming type game. Very old style if you're into platforming and stuff.
Is it
really hard game?
Is it something kind of like? Neat. Is it kind of like Super Meat Boy or like I Want to Be the Guy, something like that?
No.
Or like Kaizen Mario.
It's a bit more slower paced.
Oh, okay.
But it is difficult. Very old school style.
It looks like you're Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's very hard and very cryptic, but it seems pretty fun if you can get into it. It's got some good music as well.
Is it like Castlevania where we get to kill things with a whip or no?
Yeah, it's a bit like Castlevania. Castlevania meets Metroid, sort of, but more difficult than.
Ooh, that sounds like a happy marriage.
Yeah. No, I love the old Castlevania games, man. Those are great. The Symphony of the Night, that was so good. I love like the early like Super Nintendo and Nintendo ones. I really like Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis. I can't ever get that to run right on an emulator, but I had so much fun with that game as a kid because it was so unique. You had this guy with a spear, and you could like hold the button to do this attack, and you'd fling it from left to right like a baton swirl. It was just something. It was interesting how intuitive the controls were for that game. It was really good.
Yeah. What is it about like really hard games that just draws me to them? I don't know what it is, but I really like to. I love Contra, for example. Like I love Contra.
Yeah, people like to challenge themselves.
Yeah.
Although I guess you have to realise you got a limit on your challenge. That's why I had to stop playing Sunlust on Ultraviolence. It's like, okay, I really want to challenge myself, but I'm not that good. Fuck you, mimics.
Yeah, but I also want to like beat the game too.
Yeah.
Sunlust is great. I was able to beat Stardate on UV.
I haven't played that yet.
I tried the new Stardate, Stardate 20 XD7, I think it is.
Yeah, I still gotta play that.
I can't beat the first level, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. I love Rubik's work.
Well, what I do is I keep making the mistake where when I come back to playing Doom, I only get to play Doom like maybe once or twice a week, and when I come back to playing it, I'm really rusty, so I have to like play something else to warm up. And this is the problem because I've played a bunch of Megawads, and I'll play like up from like the first level up to like map 15, and like once you get up to like map 15, the levels start getting really hard. So I have like this whole backlog of like really, really, really hard maps, and not enough stuff to like warm up before I start playing it. So I just end up torturing myself and dying on the same parts over and over again. And
maybe you can play Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I gotta play more Streets of Rage and smash more keyboards.
I'm telling you, man.
GG Doom owes me $20.
Yeah, you gotta try. You gotta try Battletoads. Or any of you guys play Metal Slug?
Oh, I've been wanting to play that.
Free on the PC.
Oh man, turn off Infinite Continues. That game is ridiculous. Because you die if anything touches you, and the game's so long. There's like all these bullets and craziness going around. It's just like
Are you describing Metal Slug or Doom Slaughter mapping?
Well, both, but.
I wonder if people who make hard maps have like a reverse problem of everyone else. You know, some people make hard maps. It's like the problem is to make something that's challenging, and Rubik's problem is like I need to make something that's easy. Your challenge, Rubik's, make something that most people can play and not die 50 times on. Okay, I can do it. 10 methods. No, Rubik's, no.
Yeah, I wonder that too. Because some people make some like really hard levels, and I have to wonder, can they even beat these? Because like Dabu Gabu Maru, for example, I played a lot of his maps recently, and his maps are really, really hard. Especially if you play them on ultraviolence, and some of them are like really. Not to say anything bad about him. I love his maps; they're very good. But he really pushes my skill. Like I don't know. I have to wonder if he can even beat some of these. But I assume he can though, because he runs the Doom World Megawad Club, so I'm sure he has a lot of practice. But his maps kick my butt though.
Yeah. Dolby just sweating it out, waiting for the day. It's like, actually, Dolby, you made this too hard. Can you actually beat this map yourself? Oh shit! This beat is forever. I just make these really hard and don't play test them. I spent 300 hours on detailing. I hope no one would notice.
All right, so yeah, this was a good talk. Seriously, guys, it was really good having you guys on the show. And
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, and if you'd like to be on the show again, I'd love to have you guys on again too. You guys are a great crowd.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have like next time I come on. So let's talk about why Lana was shit and John Sweepy made a terrible recommendation.
Yeah, or we can talk about what WAD you like. Just beat that subject to death.
Or we can talk about UAC Ultra 2.
Yeah, let's talk about UAC Ultra 2. I could talk for hours about that.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for another episode. Okay.
He's working on it, honest.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't following him already, follow John SuitePee on Twitch. He plays Doom WADs like pretty much every day. And if you guys want to watch John SuitePee get mad, make really hard maps, and request them on his request thread.
No.
And MrGlide, do you have any kind of like Twitch or like any, where can people find you? Do you have like a YouTube channel or any kind of social media or anything?
I do. It's on Doom World. I got it all set up.
Oh, okay.
I don't do much though. I don't do much.
Oh, okay. Well, you've always been like a really good playtester, because I like having you test my maps. I don't know if a lot of people know that about you. You're very
yeah. A lot of people don't.
Yeah,
I'm really good at finding glitches and weird shit.
Yeah.
I might find you then.
No, actually, after I get my income tax, I'm looking at getting a capture card. I'm gonna upgrade my graphics card. so I'm going to have a lot easier time. It'll get rid of a lot of the input delay.
Oh, okay.
And
And then
it
you'll
won't be
start
so
streaming stuff.
frustrating. Huh?
And then you'll start streaming stuff. That sounds great.
Yeah, streaming, or at least making more videos.
Okay.
Awesome.
The
Yeah,
Doom videos that I did make were a little bit frustrating because it would chop it up so much, and
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure many people know how useful of a playtester you are, because it was really handy. Because you reached out to me through private message, telling me about how cool some of my maps were, and that really made me,
for sure. Yeah,
that really made me feel good. Made me get into
you're,
mapping
you're
again.
Up there.
Yeah. So it was really nice having you play my stuff and tell me what you thought about it. It was you're very.
Oh yeah, no problem. Anytime.
That's always a useful thing, especially in like community projects and stuff. So I think people should reach out to you more often, because you're an awesome guy.
Oh, thank you.
And you too, SuitePee, for playing people's like community projects and stuff. But I'm sure many people know that already.
Yeah. As long as you pay me in, follows and likes, and I will wait as anything. Maybe.
Okay.
I will do it.
Thank you everybody for listening. Follow John SuitePee on Twitch, and reach out to MrGlide if you need playtesting advice. And thank you everybody for listening to World Extermination Radio. And we'll see you guys again when we do another episode. I don't know who I'm interviewing next. If you can call these interviews, we're just kind of talking. I have a lot of people that I've been talking to, but everything's been like kind of up in the air. We haven't set any special like times or dates or anything, but we'll have more episodes in the future. So stay tuned, and thank you guys again for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yep. Bye.
All right, take care, Space Marines.